If you have ever looked at a C program and wondered why symbols like hashtag, semicolon, and curly brackets are always there, you are in the right place. Learning a programming language is just like learning a spoken language. Once you master the fundamental grammar, you can express any creative idea you can imagine. Learning the structure of a C program is like looking at a blueprint. Every single line has a specific place and a precise purpose. Once you understand this anatomy, you will be able to read and write C code with total confidence. I am Pratima Kulkarni, teaching faculty at the Instrumentation and Control Department of Maharshi Karve Sri Shikshan Samstha's Cummins College of Engineering Formugan, Pune. In this video, we are going to break down the standard structure of a C program and understand exactly how it works, line by line. Let us get started. C language is considered a high-level programming language. It was originally developed at Bell Labs by Dennis Ritchie in 1972-73. C is the most popular programming language even today. It offers a wide scope of programming, right from assembly level programming to sophisticated programming. Similar to any spoken language, the C language has its own grammar, which is known as its syntax. Let us start with the basic structure of any C code. This is the basic structure of any code in C. The first statement is the hash include statement. It is known as the preprocessor directive, and it is a command that tells the computer to bring in the header file or files before it runs the code. Which header file or multiple files to get are mentioned inside the triangular brackets. We can have multiple hash include statements in our C code depending upon the requirement. STDIO stands for Standard Input Output. As the name indicates, this header file consists of the standard input output instructions. CONIO stands for Console Input Output. It handles text-based user interfaces directly in the console window. The next statement is the void main. The execution of the C code begins at this statement. Irrespective of the length or the complexity of the code, the computer always looks for the main keyword. Void indicates the return type of the main function, which is empty or nothing. Instead of void, we can say int, which will indicate to the computer that the code will return an integer value. With int main, we need to include the return 0 statement before the closing curly bracket. On the next line, we have the pair of curly brackets. The opening curly bracket indicates start of the code and the closing curly bracket indicates end of the code. In other words, we should write our code within this pair of curly brackets, as this defines the scope of our program. The dotted lines shown within the pair of curly brackets represents the declaration and the statement written by the programmer. It is a good practice to write all the declaration statements at the start of the code and then proceed with the actual instructions. We can see the semicolon written at the end of each statement. It indicates the conclusion of the respective statement. It is mandatory to write the semicolon at the end of each instruction. It acts like the period at the end of the sentence. It helps the computer to understand that the current instruction has ended and it has to proceed to the next statement. Now let us go through a very simple program. As discussed earlier, we start with the preprocessor directive hash include statement. The header files included are stdio.h and conio.h. Next is the void main followed by the opening curly bracket which indicates start of the code. The program starts with the declarative statements. The first statement is int a comma b equal to 5. Let us try to understand the meaning of this statement. The word int stands for integer and is known as the data type. There are different types of data types. The list is included towards the end of this video that can be used depending upon the given program statement. A and B are known as the variables. Before going ahead, let us try to understand the concept of variables. This image will help us understand the term variable in depth. Each variable used in the program must be declared. The form of a declaration statement is data type space variable 1, comma, variable 2, comma, so on, and concluding with a semicolon. Declaration announces the data type of a variable and allocates appropriate memory location. No initial value like 0 for integers should be assumed. Every variable has a name, type, and value. It is possible to assign an initial value to a variable in the declaration itself as shown in this image. The variable with the name age having the data type as integer is assigned a value of 20. There can be multiple variables with different data types. Variables with same data types can be combined in a single statement separated by comma. Variables of different data types must be declared as independent declaration statements as shown. The names of the variables are user-defined. Remember that keywords are not allowed as variable names. The name of a variable can be composed of letters, digits, and the underscore character. It must begin with either a letter or an underscore. Upper and lower case letters are distinct as C is case sensitive. Coming back to our sample code, here two variables are declared with the names as A and B, both having the data type as integer. Variable B is assigned a value 5. The next statement is CLR-SCR, which stands for Clear Screen Function. This is included in the con.io header file. This function helps to clear the output window during each execution of the code. It prevents the display of the output from the earlier code executions. Then is a printf function. As the name indicates, this function helps to print the desired contents to the output window. The data included in pair of double quotes is printed on the screen as shown in the printf statement printf welcome all. In the sample code, an attempt is made to print the contents of variable b. Since the value 5 is pre-assigned to it, the output shows this value. In case where no value is pre-assigned to a variable, the compiler displays the respective value stored in the variable during execution of the code or else displays garbage value. %d is known as the format specifier. It always starts with the %sign followed by an alphabet that indicates the data type. List of a few types of format specifiers used in C is included towards the end of this video. It tells the compiler what type of data is under consideration and how to format that data during display or saving it in memory. So %d means that the data under consideration is of integer data type. D stands for integer data type. The next new symbol is \n. This is known as the escape sequence. Escape sequences always begin with the backslash followed by a specific letter or symbol. An escape sequence is a shortcut used inside text to print tricky characters or trigger actions that we cannot just type out normally. Instead of printing the backslash and the letter literally, the computer organizes the combination as a command to do something special, like going to a new line with \n, creating a tab space with \t, or displaying a quotation mark with \double quotes without breaking the code. The list of few types of such type of escape sequences is included towards the end of this video. Note that each statement is concluded with a semicolon. Finally, the code is concluded with the closing curly bracket indicating end of the code. On the execution of the code, the output displayed will be value of b is 5. For better understanding of this program, you can try changing the data type and the value of variable b. As we have seen the printf function, to print the contents in the output window, we have the scanf function to accept the values from the user. This is another sample program that explains the use of the scanf function. Let us revise the structure once again. Two header files, stdio and conio, are included using the preprocessor directive #include. Main indicates start of the program. The pair of curly brackets indicates scope of the program. One variable a is declared of integer data type. CLR SCR function helps to clear the output window during each execution. Now let us understand the scanf function. As we have discussed earlier, %d is a format specifier indicating that the data to be accepted in variable a from the user is of integer data type. The ampersand symbol points to the memory location of the variable of interest. In this case, the variable of interest is a, and hence it is specified as ampersand a. On execution of this command, the value entered by the user onto the output screen will be stored in variable a. Using the printf function, this stored value is printed on the output screen. With the clarity on the basic syntax of a C code, we also need to understand the compilation process of any C code. That is, how does a computer analyze the code and provide the expected output. So the C code is the source code written by the programmer in the text editor. Next is a preprocessing stage where the preprocessor files are attached with the code. Different header files like stdio.h, conio.h, math.h, etc. are attached to the C source code and the final C source code is generated. The next stage is the compiler stage wherein the preprocessed source code goes to the compiler which generates the assembly level code. Next stage is assembler. It generates the object code, which is a set of binary digits. Then the linker, it takes the object code and links it with other library files which are not the part of our code but assist in execution of the total program. After linking, the linker generates the final machine code which is ready to execute. The last stage is the loader. A program will not be executed until it is not loaded into the primary memory. The loader helps to load the machine code to the RAM and execute it. These are a few sample program statements for you to work on and some references. If this video motivated you for confidently starting with C coding, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. It tells the algorithm to show this video to other students who might be struggling with the same topic. Thanks for watching and happy coding.